Hello, Namaskar, good evening. Welcome to NCERT's live interactive session. This is Simran Singh. And you all are watching us on PM eVidya channel number 6 to 12. Or you can also connect with us to our YouTube channel that you all know. It's NCERT Official. As you know, it's around 4 p.m. on your watch, and from 4 to 5 p.m. we come up with our special sessions for all our viewers. And today it's a start of our online training series on open educational resources and licenses that is organized by CIET NCERT in collaboration with Commonwealth Educational Media Center for Asia, Commonwealth of Learning. And for today, the topic is Open Educational Resources, that is OER's Policy Perspectives. Every month, CIET NCERT will be conducting online training sessions to orient teachers, students, teacher educators on various areas that are related to educational technology and ICT in education. So, very warm welcome to all our viewers in this 5 days online training that will commence today till 29th of April. So today for the discussion, we are joined by a couple of esteemed panelists. So let me introduce them to you, all our viewers. In the discussion, we have with us Professor Amrendra Behra. Namaskar, sir. Good evening.
Namaskar. Very good afternoon.
Sir is Joint Director at CIET NCERT. A very warm welcome in the session, sir.
Thank you.
Besides, we also have with us Professor Madhu Parhar. Namaskar, ma'am. Good evening.
Namaste. Good evening to all.
A very warm welcome in the session, ma'am. Ma'am is Director at Commonwealth Educational Media Center for Asia, Commonwealth of Learning. And viewers, these are two experts for our session. Besides, we are also joined by a moderator in this session, Dr. Angel Ratnabai. Namaskar, ma'am.
Namaskar.
Good evening. A very warm welcome in the session, ma'am. Ma'am is from CIET, NCERT. A warm welcome to all our experts and our viewers in this live interaction. If you have any of the queries, so feel free to write to us in the comment section of NCERT Official. Besides, here is our contact number that is flashing on your screens. It is 8800440559, and we try to take all your questions, your queries in this session itself. But still, if any of your questions are left unanswered, or if you have any of the messages for us, so here is our mail ID for all our viewers. So you can also write to us at training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. So it's the first day of our online training on open educational resources and licenses. And today we are going to discuss about open educational resources, policy perspectives. So in the first place, I would request our moderator for the session, Dr. Angel, to please provide us a brief of our 5 days online training to all our viewers.
Thank you, Ms. Simran, and welcome to all the viewers for this 5 days online training on open educational resources and licenses. As you are aware, every month at the last week we are conducting this 5 days training to orient various stakeholders on areas related to ET and ICT. So to join this course, everyone has to visit the event page. So how do you visit this event page? How do you get registered? So let me show you the website where you are supposed to log in and then register yourself. So if you go to Google and then simply or any other browser and just type CIET, you will be able to land up on the CIET web page. Here you can see events on the menu bar, below which you can also see workshops and trainings. Every month when you want to join for the course, please keep this starred in your web page so that you'll be able to come to this landing page. So you can see here the web page on open educational resources is given. So once you click on it, you will land up on the page. The link for registration is given, and the details of all the 5 days session with the resource persons is also given here. So the very first step, register yourself using this link, or you can also scan this QR code and register by yourself. And second thing, to watch this session, if you are having internet connectivity, you can watch us on the YouTube. Even if you don't have good connectivity, do not worry about it. You can watch us on all our DTH channels like PM's eVidya DTH channel 6 to 12 channel numbers you can watch. Also, the other TV channels from where you can watch is listed here. And you can also watch in the Geo TV mobile app as well. So kindly watch us on any one of these channels or through YouTube channel. If you miss the live session, you don't need to worry about it. These videos are available in the YouTube. You can continuously watch these sessions even at your own time. Whenever you get time, please watch the sessions. Once you are able to attend this 5-day session, you will be getting a post-session activity. As part of this 5-day training session, you will be having a quiz which will be released on the last day. Only those who scored 70% and above in the quiz will be getting the participation certificate for this training. So we hope to see you everyone getting this certificate, and we wish you all the best to attend this training. Thank you, Samir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this brief introduction, and I'm sure that all our viewers will be watching this session, as I can see and witness. And in the comment section of NCRT Official, we are joined by a huge number of people. Thank you so much for your active participation, and we request you to please get connected with us and stay connected with us throughout the live interaction. So, ma'am, let's commence this online training.
Thank you. So we have with us an expert, those who are working at international level on open educational resources. CEMCA, part of Commonwealth of Learning, is working on internationally, and also CIT is working on OERs at the national level, and we are contributing to other countries as well. So we have the heads of both organizations with us to talk about open educational resources and licenses from the policy perspective. So let's listen to Director CEMCA about what is the international policy perspective of OER, how does internationally OER is seen about, and we also request ma'am to speak about various initiatives taken at the international level with respect to OER and your observation related to the policy perspective in Indian context. Yes, ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Simran and Dr. Angel. Professor Bahira, Joint Director of CIT, all colleagues who are in the studio at the moment of CIT, and all teachers, teacher educators, research scholars, both maybe from school education, under school education they are, but maybe some of them they are from higher education. I welcome all of you to this 5-day training program on OER and licenses, that is Open Educational Resources and Licenses. So today's topic is Open Education Resources and Policy Perspectives. So with this, let me share the slides. Just give me a moment. Let me make it full screen. I hope now it's visible to all of the viewers.
Yeah.
Right. So as we said, that today's theme of this 5-day capacity building program on OER and licenses is OER and what are the policy perspectives. So we will see what the policy perspectives are, but more importantly, we will see what OERs are. OERs, all of you, I'm sure you have listened to this terminology, you have read about this terminology, and you have a fairly enough understanding of this terminology, open education resources. However, in a very simple terms, I would like to highlight that open education resources, as the name suggests, as the terminology suggests, open education and resources. So these are OERs, are teaching, learning and research materials which are in public domain and which are released under open license. So this is actually a very simple definition or the meaning of what open education resources are. Now, the movement started long before. I mean, if you say 20 years before, so I'll say long or it is short. But the movement started when UNESCO in 2002 initiated this mass movement. And they described open education resources as something which is technology enabled, open provision of resources, educational resources, and for what? For consultation, for use and adoption by the community of users, not for the commercial purposes, and which are easily available on the web or the internet. So this was the movement started by UNESCO in 2002, and a very brief description as made by UNESCO is on your slides. From here we move on to what the William and Flora Foundation, an international foundation, they talked about, or they are talking about open education resources. Somewhat similar, if we say so. So if you see on your screen, these are again teaching and learning and research resources which are residing in the public domain and only can be released under an intellectual property license. So these licenses are actually called the Creative Commons licenses, which you will be learning more in the next 5 days. Hence, I'll not talk about the various property licenses, but what OERs are, that the learning resources are released under these licenses. That's very, very important, and which permits the resources to be freely used or repurposed by others. That's very important. So if you have heard this terminology, open education resources, you must have heard another terminology which is called open access material. So is there a difference or are these the same? The only difference I find is that open education resources are released under the license, which is called the Creative Commons license, and open access materials are any material which are in the public domain, but they are not licensed. So that's very, very important. Now, very briefly, we'll go into the history of what open education resources are. Again, as I said, all of you know about it, but the whole thing started in 1998 by David Wiley. He coined the term open content. So see carefully. It's not open resources, but it says it's an open content. Whereas in 2001, Larry founded Creative Commons. Creative Commons is the licenses under which these materials are released. 2001, MIT announced its open course, where MIT released all their course material under the open licenses. So people world over could access the MIT courses. And even today, the MIT courses are renowned and people, they go pay to get admission into MIT. But now that they have released their courses in MIT, and if I take a course from MIT, I'm privileged sitting in New Delhi and taking a course from this university. So long time back, see, they released all their course material under the open licenses. In 2002, again, the movement started, and it went on to when in UNESCO headquarters, Paris, in 2002, they held a forum on the impact of open courseware for higher education in developing countries. And there they coined this terminology, open education resources, and then the movement, it just went on and it went on and on. In 2003, November, China Open Resources came on, and it was founded in partnership with MIT Open Course. I don't want to get into the detail. There were several other organizations which started this movement in 2006. This is important because when we talk about the school education, in 2006, the Khan Academy, which created these video lessons from K-12 educational materials, and in most of the subjects. And it became so popular that I'm sure you as teachers or you as students or research scholars are using this Khan Academy videos. I'm not getting into the detail about the Indian initiatives because I'm sure the expert is here, Dr. Behera, he will be talking about it. But I just wanted to say that these were the initiatives or the history which where open education resources came into existence and became very popular. Now, what are OERs? Again, I'm sure all of you know, but in a very brief, OERs are materials which are free and freely available. And they can be either digital or they can be in any other medium that can be non-digital also. They are suitable for different levels of education. That's either for school education or for higher education or for technical education. Like you know, you must have heard about the NPTEL programs. They are basically for the technical education. School education, higher education, SWAM is there, and Dr. Behera will be talking about more initiatives. Another very important point of OERs are what OERs are. They are reusable. So suppose I have written one research article or I have created one course or I have made a textbook. And if I put it as an OER, one can reuse it. So these are basically a few features of what OERs are. Another very important point which we talk about the open education resources is the freedom with which OERs are released. So these are called 5 Rs: retain, redistribute, reuse, revise, and remix. Again, I will not talk about it because in the coming days, in the next 2-3 days, you will be reading, listening more about these what 5 Rs are. Like the very important is that if I have written a research article, for example, another person can revise it, or even I can revise it, or I can remix it with some other article and republish my research article. So these 5 R's, all of you need to understand and which you will be learning about it. Now, what OER covers? Basically, if you will see, these are textbooks. So many textbooks are there which are under OER and anyone can use it. NCERT has all the text. But as far as I know, they're not released as OER, but there are open access materials that any student, any teacher can access the textbook, download it for reading, not only in India, anywhere in the world. So that's the most important part of open education resources are your diagrams, your animations and simulations, your video recorded lectures, your PowerPoint slides or PDF files on your lecture notes, your assessment questions, and so on and so forth. These are covered as OER. Just give you another example from this slide itself. When I said that PowerPoint slides or PDF files of lecture notes are under OER, for example, the slides which you are watching just now can be shared with you, will be shared with you. You can use it the way you want. You can remix with your own content. You can release these slides under the license which you will be learning, which are 6 licenses, and so on and so forth. Teachers, they make their lecture notes very important, which all of us as teachers, we do that. So if I release my lecture note under OER, so a person sitting, let's say, in Bhubaneswar, a teacher sitting, let's say, in Bhubaneswar, or student sitting, let's say, in Cuttack, or somewhere in West Bengal, or somewhere in Tamil Nadu, they can use my lecture notes and can use it for their teaching and learning or classroom transactions. So these are what open education resources are. They need not reinvent on the same topic or on the same type or spend efforts to design their PowerPoints or the lecture notes. Coming next to what as the title of today's session was, I'll not get into the detail. Again, I say Professor Behera will be talking in detail. National Education Policy 2020 came into force or existence in 2020, by Government of India. So is there some touch or they have talked about open education resources? So let me say that no. Open education resources as such, the term is not listed in the policy document. However, policy document is a guideline. As all of you know, we write, interpret, and work on these guidelines. So the guidelines clearly, the policy clearly gives us certain things which we can relate it as open education resources. So to begin with, just in the next 3-4 slides, page number 3 of the policy document, that is the introduction part of it, it clearly says one point, that the aim for India by 2040 is to give equitable access to the highest quality education to all learners. So what does that mean? It means indirectly that the students or the teachers will have equitable access to the material, to education to the learners. So see, as I said, as terminology maybe in the policy it's not written, but it clearly mentions that the material should be, whatever the quality material, it should be accessible. Again, on page 7, what does it say? It says under the early childhood care education, that's the title, that's the point. It says ensure universal access to high quality. So it clearly defines ECCE, but see the main point what the policy document says, that it should be universal access. So once the OER is on the, let's say, NCERT website or any other repository, it has a universal access. And I must say, like NCERT textbooks, high quality, available on NCERT website, anyone can access it. That's what the policy talks about. Next point, on page number 9, the policy talks about that create or already have a national repository of high quality resources. Again, open education resources are resources. So policy document has also talked about point number 2.6 under the foundational literacy and numeracy heading, that a national repository of high quality resources will be made available on the digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing. Diksha. Again, I say I'll not talk about Diksha because Dr. Behera is going to highlight what this very important repository which CIT and CRT has created. Page 19 of the policy document, again, if you see the highlight, point number 4.44, it says that what are open education resources? As in the beginning we said, these are supplementary materials which the teachers or students can use it. Suppose I am a student of, let's say, class 10, I have in my hand NCERT textbook, but if there are other textbooks which are under OERT or as an open access, I can always refer as a supplementary material to my existing textbook. So what policy talks about it? 4.44, that teachers will aim to encourage with singular interest in the classroom by giving them supplementary enrichment material. That's very, very important, and that's what the OER comes into existence. Page 59, it talks about online teaching platforms and tools, which again, I will skip this point, but for higher education students who are viewing this program or teachers who are viewing this program, we have SWAM. So SWAM, there are thousands of courses which are open access and can be taken by the students. And Government of India has already said that 40% of courses can be taken from the SWAM platform, and that's what we talk about higher education. So these are user-friendly assistive tools so that the progress of the learners can be monitored. Point D, on page 59 again, it talks about the content creation, the digital repository, and the dissemination of this digital repository. I request all of you, the students and the teachers and the teacher educators who are viewing this program, must read, and I'm sure majority of you must have read the policy document, but still read it between the lines what it talks about the OERs. Now, what are the benefits of open education resources? These benefits are for students, for teachers, and of course for the parents. For students, the benefit of OER is that it reduces the cost of education. How? There are several studies internationally that if I go and buy books, especially I know the NCERT books are quite reasonable in the cost. But if we see the medical books or the technical education books for engineering students or the medical students, they are very costly. So if these books are released under OER or as an open access material, it will reduce the cost of education, especially for the students who belong to low socioeconomic groups. So that's the major advantage for students. OER material exposes students to a wide range of digital learning opportunities. So, like if you see, there are a number of YouTube videos which are available. And these are called the supplementary materials. You have heard about flipped learning. You can watch these videos or read the text materials, come back to the classroom, see what your textbook content is, and students, teachers, they are exposed. It's not only in one subject. It is in all the disciplines, right from sciences to arts to social sciences and so on and so forth. So that's the major advantage of OERs for the students. For teachers, what are the advantages? That these OERs supplement and add value to the existing resources. Suppose I'm supposed to talk about OER. Whatever literature I have, but if I go to the internet and search on it, supplement that material, it will give a wider value to my presentation. So that is advantage for the teachers. Professional preparation is very, very another important point for the teachers. And the last, which I have just listed, there are several others, continuous improved resources. If I have written a textbook and if I release it in OER, what I will do is I can add, delete certain points, upgrade it so that my resources is continuously improved. My PowerPoint presentations are continuously improved. My lecture notes are continuously improved. So these are some of the advantages for the teachers. For parents, again, as parents, all of us, we know that more work is done by the parents these days because they have to go to the internet and they supplement what the students they are learning. So it gives a little enhanced opportunities for self-learning for the parents. Now coming to what COL CEMCA has done on the OERs, COL and CEMCA has worked very closely with UNESCO in promoting these OERs. So we have several publications. It's on your screen. I request all of you to go and read these publications. In CEMCA, with support of my colleague, Dr. Manas, we have supported the open universities and some of the formal universities because COL CEMCA works with higher education in framing their institutional OER policy. So what at the moment CEMCA, out of 16 open universities, CEMCA has supported almost 13 open universities to frame their institutional OER policy. So now what has happened that any university can take the material of another university and create their own courses. It's available on the website, the courses, the material. Any student, any university teacher can access to that. So there are a number of publications. You can go visit COL CEMCA website and you will find that. Read lot of books are there, lot of content, what OER, what are the policy documents, how do you make, what are the various guidelines, you will get there. During COVID, when it started, when the lockdown began in March 2020, Commonwealth of Learning launched OER for COVID. And what was that? Why it was? Because the students world over, they were closed, and 80% of the students, 80% of the schools rather, they were closed. So from where they got all the material? They got the material from our COL OER for COVID website. So these are some of the initiatives which COL and CEMCA has taken during COVID and even before that. I will not get into the open licenses, but I must highlight is here that OERs become open. They have the license, which is given by Creative Commons. You will learn which in the next 2-3 days, and you will know how these licenses are given so that an individual, an author has the permission to access, reuse, redistribute their work with no restriction. That's very, very important. Like if you see it on your screen, this picture is by unknown author but is licensed under CC BY. So that's what I can use it. No one can come and sue me that I have used this picture without their permission. So that's what the advantage of open licenses is. Thank you so much and wish you all the best. This is a very, very important initiative which CIT NCERT, Dr. Behera and his team has taken, and good luck to each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving the brief of the various, the timeline through which OER has got developed, and also highlighting various aspects which we are going to learn in this 5 days training, and giving us a brief understanding of how OER has been dealt in the National Educational Policy 2020. Thank you so much. And now we have Professor Behera with us, the Joint Director of CIT. Sir, would you please highlight us, like, what is your observations regarding the policy perspectives of OER?
Thank you very much, Dr. Angel, and thanks to esteemed Professor Madhu Pararji, Director CEMCA, Commonwealth of Learning, for deliberating in detail on the Open Educational Repository and the resources also, and also placing before us a global perspective, including the connotation, the meaning of OER, and then how we can be part of the OER community, and what do we mean by OER, and as an academic member, how to be part of the community, and also its strength and weaknesses also, and the scope. I must mention that first of all, those viewers, those who are watching, to all of us, a large number of viewers are there. Basically, we could see all over UP the diet faculty and the diet students are also there. Even from Chandigarh and Uttarakhand, people are also watching, and from Himachal Pradesh also. We could see from the chat on the YouTube. And I request that if they give their comments, suggestions and questions, it will be more helpful to address them. Again, to come back to the track, I must mention that open educational resources necessarily are those resources. It may be audios, it may be videos, it may be interactive, it may be digital games, it may be digital concept maps, even maybe digital timelines. So these variety of resources which are provided for free and open access, जो मुक्त है और मुफ्त है, तो free and open, मुक्त और मुफ्त, ये दोनों है, and it is for the learners because it is individuals, community, and also systems, educational systems or organizations, they make this possible, join together and make this possible. And again, the licensing of the materials matter, because we have to share these resources under a particular license, so that it can be used by the stakeholders. So once again, I would like to repeat that open educational resources are necessarily the digital resources which are available for free and under open licensing, under CC licensing, Creative Commons licensing. How open, how close, that we may further discuss. I will be providing you for a perspective as far as the policy directions are concerned. If I take you through the Digital India campaign which started in 2015, there were three things the Digital India campaign started for enabling. That one is providing digital infrastructure everywhere for the stakeholders, so that digital resources can be accessed. Then all the digital services and the contents, how through portals, apps, online and offline, can be shared. And the third thing is the digital literacy of the citizens. So every one of us, whether a student from school or a student from DIET, people teacher from DIET or CT, IAC or SCRT, and students in universities, so how, and teachers and teacher educators, so how they can get digital literacy in a way they can access digital resources. So again, Digital India campaign is an enabler for providing OER to all stakeholders. And then again, if we talk about the NEP 2020, there are two dedicated chapters spared for use and integration of technology, digital education and online resources as well. And there in chapter 24, particularly 24.4, if you read, there are 10 different issues which has been spoken. One is that development of material and its dissemination through repositories, which are necessarily free and open platforms, and the resources which are free. So therefore, there are clear-cut policy directions that resources should be developed and disseminated online, as OER. And you can see that there are a large number of digital resources provided by Government of India through different platforms. And this could be a variety of resources. I will take you through the next slide where we have mentioned that how these platforms are helping us to do that. So you can talk about the Diksha platform, even the Swayam MOOCs platform, the ePathshala platform, even the eGyanKosh platform, even the NME ICT National Mission on Education through ICT, NME ICT platform also talks about NPTEL content and other contents. Even the Swayam platform, study webs of active learning and for young aspiring minds. So there are thousands of digital resources and courses available on Swayam for different stakeholders. Even there are online labs also which are available for free, and even Karnataka and Telangana, so they have similarly Kerala also. So they have developed OER platforms also, including Andhra Pradesh also, and many other states they are also joining together. If I talk about the Diksha platform, on Diksha platform itself there are more than 2.5 lakh plus e-contents, more than 2,65,000 e-contents are available on Diksha. There are nearly 6,000 digital books alone which are shared under Creative Commons license. Since most of the textbooks are printed by the SCRTs and school boards including NCERT, so textbooks have been shared under CC by NCND, the Creative Commons license, non-commercial, non-derivative, so that the books which are being printed, people should not freely print and distribute. If they freely print and distribute, it's okay, but they should not sell. So that is why books are shared under CC license, but CC by NCND. But if we talk about the audios, videos, interactives, even the assessment questions, a large number of assessment questions are available on Diksha. And also there are a large number of Indian Sign Language videos, even talking books also. NCERT has prepared a large number of audio books on different chapters. So these are available as part of OER, Open Educational Resources, under Creative Commons license, CC BY and CC BY SA, share alike. So, so that you need not to recreate, rediscover the wheel, rather the resources already existing in the platform can be easily used for different purposes. So if we talk about India, there are plethora of platforms starting from school education to higher education, where contents are designed, developed by individual teachers. They are contributing on different platforms, like on Diksha platforms. 35 states and union territories, their digital books, their e-contents based on digital books are also mapped, and we call it energized books because each printed book is also having a QR code. When somebody scans the code of a particular chapter, the child lands on the digital content on Diksha. So they can very easily use this content in a better manner and for free. And same content, suppose there is a content in Bangla developed by Tripura, so the same content can be used by West Bengal without any fee, because those contents are already shared under Creative Commons license and as OER. So therefore, similarly, Uttar Pradesh SCRT, Uttar Pradesh School Board, Himachal Pradesh SCRT and Himachal Pradesh School Board, even Chandigarh SCRT and many other states like Uttarakhand also, they have shared a large number of content on Diksha portal as well. So these contents are available as OER. Similarly, we have Nistha integrated training courses. For elementary level, we have around 18 courses. For secondary Nistha, we have around 12 courses now available. For Nistha foundational literacy and numeracy, so we have around 12 courses again. So different modules are there. These modules are also shared under Creative Commons license, CC BY and CC BY SA. So that any stakeholder, they can use this content in a free and open manner, and reshare also it with others. So even the teacher educators and people teachers from DIET, B.Ed colleges, SCRT, they are also university education departments, they are also free to use that, even if it is meant for school teachers. So they can use all these digital contents for free. And similarly, spoken tutorials have been developed by IIT Mumbai, and those are also available free. Even CDAC and Amrita University, they have developed virtual labs. Around 173 virtual labs are there. So those are also shared for free, so that all of us can make use of that. These are some of the things. Even the National Open School, National Institute of Open Schooling, so they have a wiki-based OER platform where a large number of contents have been developed. At the international level also, you might have heard about Merlot, MERLOT. You might have heard about Wiki also, and Wikipedia. So it is again a OER platform, and all of us can use that. So these are some of the things I wanted to share. There is a need always, and there is a scope also for using. I will not take much time, but to have a scalable platform which is available for 33 crore students and 1 crore teacher of our country for free, all of us need to change our mindset and make all these contents available for free. Why I am saying again free? If I talk about NCERT and SCRTs and SITs developing e-content, or even UGC, CEC and Consortium for Educational Communication, EMMRCs also, and also EMPC IGNO, if they are developing e-contents including NIOS, so those contents are developed out of taxpayers' money, and you parents, teachers, teacher educators, they are paying tax, and out of that we have spent and developed. Again and again the stakeholders should not pay that for purchasing those contents like other stakeholders they are doing. Since we are government agencies, our teachers, teacher educators, and developing content for a particular cause, so these contents needs to be made available for free, so that more and more stakeholders can use that. Another thing I would like to mention, recently Government of India has, after the NEP 2020 implementation, has declared NDR, National Digital Education Architecture. The National Digital Education Architecture, and again it is a policy document, it talks about interoperability and interoperable platform. It talks about integrated platforms, that we need not to again and again create different platforms once it is created. So rather at API level, application level, we should have integration of that. So we need to think for that, and it should be inclusive as well. And rather we create an ecosystem of digital content through OER platforms. So the NDA document, directly or indirectly, starting from registry to certification and credit transfer, and having a certificate bank, credit bank also. So it talks about having integratable, inclusive, interoperable and inclusive platforms, so that we create an ecosystem. With these words, I thank all of you for giving me the opportunity. So now over to Dr. Angel and Simran to take forward.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for highlighting what NDA talks about, this integratedness, and also you have talked about how important it is in the context of India. We need to develop OER, and thanks for highlighting various initiatives under OER which has been taken up. And we could see in the comments there are several questions which are related to how do I identify particular license, how do I identify open license content, and there are some questions related to how do really I make people understand about OER. And after listening to Professor Baira and Professor Madhu, we all have got so many new words maybe in our minds about what is the CC by SA, what is it CC by ND. Please keep connected with us, because this is the first day we have just understood that OER is not something which we are just taking it lightly, but it is a policy recommendation. Though the word OER is not mentioned in policy, the underlying principles of many recommendations is the open educational resource that will address the need of the country. So we are starting this day. We have understood the policy perspective from these two experts, and we are going forward from tomorrow as part of this training to understand really conceptually what does OER mean, and how as a teacher and as a stakeholder, maybe I'm a student, teacher, educator, how do I really identify the OER content? What all I can do with this content? How do I use this OER content and create new contents? And what does law speak about? If I don't follow these OER rules, what is that I'm going to land up with? There are much more to learn, and keep connected with us for the coming 4 days. And I remind again everyone, if you haven't registered till now, kindly register yourself and also inform to all your friends about this training.
Thank you so much, Angel ma'am, for your kind words. And we are left by the last 2 minutes in this session. Viewers, we have seen so many beautiful comments pouring in the comment section of NCRT Official. We'll try to answer all your questions in these sessions, as for the next 4 days we are here with you, providing you highlights of the areas that we are going to cover. Today we discussed about open education sources, policy perspectives. Tomorrow we'll have a conversation regarding OERs, concept, need and scope. And on the day 3, that is on 27th of April, we'll discuss about licensing. On the 4th day, we'll cover the areas related to harnessing OER for achieving educational goals. And on our concluding day, that is on 29th of April, we'll provide you insights regarding identifying and contributing quality OERs. So be connected with NCRT for the next 4 days so that you get all the information regarding our online training sessions. So here we come with an end to our today's training day, and I would like to thank our experts who have joined with us in this conversation. Thank you so much, Professor Behra, for being a part of this conversation, sharing valuable information for all our viewers. Thanks a lot, Professor Madhu, for being a part of this conversation, sharing flowers from your bucket of knowledge. And thank you so much, Dr. Angel, for moderating it so well.
Thank you, Simran.
A word of thanks to all our viewers. Stay connected to NCRT. We are here with you till 5:30 p.m. with our Sahyog session. So it's time to wrap up this particular session, but stay connected with NCRT. We'll be right back within few minutes with our another session, that is Sahyog. Namaskar.